If you're confused about non-toxic cookware, you're not alone. Hi, I'm Susie. I'm a mom of four, and I'm going to share with you today all the non-toxic cookware that I actually use in my kitchen and that last. Hi, I'm Susie from the blog girlgonegreen.com. I have a blog that's all about clean living, natural beauty. I've been blogging for 10 years. I have a full blog with over 600 blog posts on all that you can imagine when it comes to natural living, so make sure and check that out. Today, we're going to be talking about non-toxic cookware. I know it can be a really confusing world out there, wondering what do I actually use, what works, and what lasts, and what naturally is non-stick. I'm going to go over all of it with you in this video so that when you're done, you're going to know exactly what to use when it comes to non-toxic cookware. I've tested so many clean, non-toxic cookware over the years, and I've dialed in what actually does work and what will last the test of time and are products that I could actually gift to my kids as they get older. They're heirloom quality. So I'm going to share with you really what does work and what doesn't. Also, I'm going to share with you what to avoid when it comes to non-toxic cookware or cookware in general. It can be really confusing and it can seem like, oh, this pan must be good. It's labeled green. It says it's naturally non-stick. But there's a lot of things hiding behind those coatings that we're not actually aware of when it comes to being a consumer. So I'm going to break it down for you on the things that you want to avoid and some of the brands that you might want to watch out for as well. So some of the things that you want to avoid when it comes to cookware are PFAS or PFAs, however you want to say it. These are forever chemicals and they literally are in our bodies, in our environment forever because they don't break down. And that's why they're called forever chemicals. Studies have shown that PFAS disrupt your hormones, they disrupt your thyroid function, they're especially bad in children. They're also really not great when it comes to certain types of cancer. They've been known to cause certain types of cancer. Overall, they just suppress your immune system. And we're still learning about all of these and what they actually do to our bodies. So I don't know about you, but I don't want them near me. I want to avoid them as much as we can. I know it's impossible to completely avoid them because they're in the air we breathe now, just because everything is made of plastic and it gets broken down as we wash it and it goes into our waterways. But I want to try to avoid it as much as possible. And so one of the ways we can avoid it is by really choosing safer, cleaner, non-toxic cookware. If you were just going to the store to pick up a pan, chances are it's coated with a forever chemical, a PFA in some sort of way. And that's what gives it that non-stick, that slick surface that you love when you cook, nothing sticks to it. Unfortunately, that is also going into your food when you're eating it. And so that's why we really want to be aware of what we're cooking on, what we're serving our family daily. I don't know about you, but I cook continually in our house as someone who really wants to eat clean and natural, holistic lifestyle. I'm cooking pretty much 3 meals a day. And so what I use really does matter over time. I think it's one of the best investments you can make into your house is really choosing a safer, cleaner cookware because it just adds up over time. I wanted to mention too, there are a lot of non-stick pans out there that maybe are from a cleaner brand or they just have a coating on them and they say PFA-free. I would be leery of those. I've tried them in the past. And the problem with these is that they scratch so easy that they really just have no longevity and they don't last. You know, I would get these pans, we would use them for about 6 months and then we would have to go and get a new pan, buy another one. So it was another investment. And these pans aren't cheap. You know, they would be $100, $125, up to $150 for these coated pans, ceramic coated pans. And then I would have to replace them all the time. And then I felt like I couldn't let my kids cook, my older kids who can cook, because I wanted them to be so careful, you know, not scratch the surface, but I really want them to be in the kitchen. I want them to be able to feel, you know, freedom to cook and learn. And so I realized I really needed to go on the hunt for a safer option that was not just coated and wouldn't scratch super easy. Because one, I didn't want, you know, to keep investing in new pans. That is a lot of money over time. And two, once they're scratched, then they're, you know, exposing you to all the things underneath the coating, which isn't good. So then it kind of negates the whole point of getting non-toxic cookware in the first place. So I was on the hunt to find something that would not only, last, but that also was safe for my family in the long run. So just to recap, I definitely avoid PFAS in any sort of cookware. I also avoid any Teflon. That's going to be what you find typically in the store if you went to just get a pan. It would have that sleek coating. I avoid that. And then I also avoid aluminum. So I am going to talk about some products that are made from surgical grade stainless steel, and they do have an aluminum middle. However, there's no aluminum touching my actual food because there is a coating of the surgical stainless steel that is over the aluminum. So you really want to make sure when you are buying stainless steel that is actually stainless steel touching your food. There's no aluminum involved. A lot of times brands will just mix things together and you really don't know what you're getting. So that's why I'm recommending these brands today, because I've vetted them, I've researched them over the years, and I've been using them for several years now. And so I can vouch for just the longevity and how well they work. So I'm gonna start first with my Our Place Titanium series. So the reason I'm starting with this cookware is because it is the most easiest cookware, I feel, to transition to if you have been using Teflon or some sort of non-toxic cookware or non-stick cookware, excuse me. This is going to be your easiest transition, in my opinion, that I found that really meets all of the needs and does everything that you want it to do when it comes to an everyday cookware, whether it's a pot, a pan, or it's, just something that you want to grab every day and use. I love their titanium series. Our Place does have their ceramic coated pans. I used those in the past and I did not like them because, as I mentioned, they would scratch and then I would have to replace them again. We went through a couple of their pans over time in different sizes and had no success. And so when I discovered their titanium series, it's more money, it's an investment, but the thing is it lasts over time. I've had these pans for over a year now. They look just like they did when I started. They look so good. As you can see, so well inside. And what makes them so special is that they're made with titanium, which is virtually almost indestructible. You can have this pan heated at 1,000 degrees. It can withstand heat up to 1,000 degrees. It also is naturally non-stick because of how they have this almost hex grid inside the pans. And so it really acts as like a non-stick surface almost for your food. I still do put oil in here to cook like eggs or other things, but it's not like using a regular stainless steel pan that would be really trickier. It's a little bit more of a learning curve. This one is just seamless. I really like it too because it doesn't scratch because there's no coating. There's no ceramic coating inside. It's literally just the titanium and these hex. And so I can use metal on here, any sort of metal utensils. I can put this in the dishwasher. I can use a really, steel wool to scrub this with and it's not damaging it. So it's really, really nice because I have kids, love cooking, love getting, in the kitchen, which I love. And I don't have to worry about my pans. My husband can use this. I can use it. He loves it just as much as me, which says a lot because he loved the Our Place pans, but he didn't love that they would scratch. And this is like the next best thing because it doesn't scratch and we just love the results. We love using it every day for eggs. We literally use this for 3 meals a day. Like I said, I cook a lot. I'm not one of those people that buy stuff, it sits around and your kitchen looks pretty. My kitchen might look really pretty right now, but typically is like a workhorse kitchen. We are using it, we are cooking in it daily. And so I really want pans that work and are solid and can do the job. I have 4 kids and we eat a lot of food. So this is an awesome pan. I have it in 2 sizes. So it comes in this size, which is just your normal pan. I have 2 of these. That's how much we love them. They also come with a lid, which I love for any sort of sauteing. And then I wanted to show you, I also have a smaller version as well, which is really nice if you just want to heat up a couple things. Maybe you want to cook up a couple fried eggs. It's so great. Like I said, we use these pans daily. We have 3 that are continually on our stove and we just constantly are using them. Love them. They also have their titanium series in pots And so if you are really into, wanting to switch out all your cookware, I highly recommend getting the pots as well. We love these. These have the same hex inside of them, the same titanium coating as the pans. They just come in pots. We also have a large pot too from the titanium series that we're using in the fridge right now, but it looks like this size. Great for big stews, for soups, if you want to do some roasting in it. Again, super easy to clean. You can put them in the dishwasher. You can't scratch them. They are like indestructible, virtually, like so great. So I can't recommend them enough if you're just switching over your cookware and you're like, I don't know where to start. I want something easy to maintain. I want something that's easy to cook with. I would go with the Our Place Titanium series. Hands down. I have a coupon code for you guys. I will leave in the show notes. But like I said, I've been using this for a year now and I love them. My family loves them. I've literally gifted this pan, I think, to I don't know how many people in my family. Like, that's how much we vouch for them and they love it as well. Okay, moving on. I want to talk about the next cookware brand that we have in our home and love, and that is Caraway. So Caraway also carries their non-toxic pans that have the ceramic coating, which I told you I don't like. I've had their pans, they scratched on me. They're really beautiful. Maybe if you live by yourself, I've learned, or you only have a couple people, maybe it's just you and your husband, you're empty nesters now, maybe you don't have kids. I would say those could possibly work. However, for me personally, like having kids and just cooking all the time, like they would scratch and they just did not work. I also just question what the coating is. Even though, everyone says that they're clean, I question it. So for me, I like going with the titanium, like I mentioned, from Our Place. However, Caraway also carries their cast iron. So this is their enameled cast iron, and I've had great success with this. I love having cast iron for just baking. There's just certain things that cast iron comes in really handy. And so what I've noticed is just having a couple pieces like this have been great for me, whether it's like baking sourdough or needed an extra stew pot like this, heavy duty. It's been really, really great. So love their cast iron. I think it looks beautiful. I've had this for a year too. It's held up so well. It's just dark inside. Can't say enough good things about it. Like making a batch of chili, if you're, doing anything when it comes to baking breads, like works so well. The next brand I want to talk about is 360 Cookware. And this is the other like workhorse in my kitchen as far as when it comes to non-toxic cookware brands. This is the brand. I've had them for over 5 years now. Love them, love what they stand for. They are a family-run business. They really do an amazing job of creating products that are heirloom quality, meaning I'm going to pass this down to my girls when they grow up because it's going to last that long. Like it is an investment to buy their pieces 100%, but also I know what I'm buying when I purchase their products. It's surgical, 304 surgical stainless steel that you're buying. This is top-notch quality stainless steel. Works so well. This pot, I can't tell you, I use it almost every day. It is such an investment pot for sure, but I'm telling you, for as much as I've used it, it's worth it. It can be used for anything. Soups, stews, bread, slow cooker. I think that's why I love it, because this is their large stock pot and it's 6 quarts. This is their slow cooker that you get if you buy their slow cooker. So this goes on top of here, which I can't say enough good things about it. I have a whole review on their slow cooker because I'm obsessed with it. But there you go, that's what it looks like. And I use this all the time. The flavor you get in your meats, making soups, stews with the slow cooker is unparalleled to none. I really discovered 360 when I wanted to find a slow cooker that was PFAS-Free, was free of any coatings, and I couldn't find it. All I could find was, your typical slow cooker that's made of stone. And the problem with those is not only do they have coatings, but they also have lead, a lot of other things in there, heavy metals that I wanted to avoid when I was cooking, especially food for long hours. And so that's when I discovered 360 and their slow cooker, and I have been sold on their products ever since. It works so, so well as a slow cooker. And then what I love about it is that it doesn't stop there. I can literally remove this from the heat pad, and then I can use this in the oven. I can put it on the stove. So it's super versatile in your kitchen, which just makes it so nice, because when you buy it, it is an investment, but then you're able to use it in so many other ways, not just as a slow cooker. Because for me, I don't like clutter. I don't want things cluttering up my pantry. I want everything to have like a really specific use. And so this works so well because you're able to, use everything and use it for so many different things that it makes it worthwhile. Like storing, I can easily stack things in this as well to make it so nice for storing that it's not taking up a bunch of space. So can't recommend the slow cooker enough from 360. You can also just buy this by itself if you wanted to. They have a smaller 4-quart version too if you find the 6-quart too big, but I love the 6-quart, especially for roast, or if I'm making like bone broth or anything like that. It works so, so well. So that's another thing from 360. Another thing that I love from them is their pie pan. It is like my favorite pie pan. I've had several different pie pans. This one is large. It holds up so well. We actually use this more often than I would have thought, but it just works super well. Whether you're making just like a frittata without even, the crust, or a pie, or I'm just cooking some sort of like bread thing in here. I don't know, just all different things can work in this as well. Super nice. I want to show you just a couple options when it comes to 360. This is their pan, just a regular cookie sheet. I think it's called their jelly roll pan actually, but they have regular cookie sheets that I have as well. But I find that I like when it has a little bit of a ledge on it. And so we use this literally every day. Works so, so well. Yeah, so nice. Can't recommend it enough. Again, like I've had these for so long and they look so, so good still. So we have the 4-quart size of this as well. And we use that for like soups, heating things up. It just is another like workhorse item in our kitchen that we use continually. So can't recommend 360 enough. Like I said, they really are, they come from Wisconsin and they use surgical 304 stainless steel. There's no coatings, there's no aluminum. It's like in the middle. I have a whole review on my blog that I'm gonna leave for you guys in the show notes if you wanna read about it. And then I also have a whole nother video that I did just about 360 if you wanna like deep dive into all the things with them. I don't wanna go make this video super long just about 360, but I could go on and on. So make sure and check that out. I will leave a link to the video and the blog post in the show notes. Okay, last but not least, I wanted to mention a couple pans that I've gotten from Amazon that are more budget friendly. If you are on like a really tight budget and you're just wanting a pan or a couple pans that don't have any sort of coating or anything like that, I really like these ones. As you can tell, they're well loved. I've had them for like a long, long time. I don't even know, probably 8 years. And they were kind of what I switched to when I first started. When you're first starting out, you want to spend a lot of money and you want to still be more mindful. These ones are great because they are stainless steel. Really nice brand, and they are super affordable. So I'm gonna leave these in the show notes as well if you wanna check out some affordable options. Maybe you're just getting started, maybe you're getting married, or maybe you wanna give something to, your grandchild or your child and just have them switch over quickly. These are a great option, a lot less investment, but still work as great. We use these all the time still, like can't recommend these enough. We have pans going all the time, all sorts of pans going. Okay, I hope that's helpful when looking at what to look for and what brands to look for when it comes to non-toxic cookware. Like I said, these are literally the ones I use every day in my kitchen. I'm a mom of 4 and I cook all my meals. So I think that says a lot. I've also been switching my products and have been using these for years and years, and they really do work. Some of the brands that I've avoided and I wouldn't recommend are any sort of brands that are using the pans that are ceramic coated. I still use brands that make those. I just don't buy those pans anymore. So I'm not buying the ceramic coated Our Place pan or from Caraway anymore, just because, like I said, they do chip over time and they just don't have that longevity to them. I'm also a little bit leery of pans that they're just selling at any random store that say they're more green or non-toxic. A lot of those pans, You know, they might be PFA-free, but they're putting other coatings on them instead of the PFA coating, which can be just as harmful. So you really want to make sure when you're buying a pan that you're doing your research. And chances are, if it's a really good deal and it looks really awesome, it might be too good to be true. You might just need to do your research a little bit more or invest a little bit more up front just to get a really good pan you know is not only non-toxic, but also, you know, just free of any sort of other residual, whether it's like a new coating they're coming up with or whatever it might be, just making sure that it truly is non-toxic in the long run. I also wanted to say that I know it can feel really overwhelming at first when you're first starting your products and you're, you know, trying to switch everything over. But my recommendation to you is always just to transition one thing at a time. So maybe you transition the pan that you use every single day and you invest there first. And then just gradually over time, you pick up a new cookware item, whether it's, you know, for your birthday or Christmas or whatever it might be. Just invest when there's a sale. It doesn't have to be an overhaul at once. It doesn't need to be, you know, something that you do where you're like, you know, charging your credit card just to like, you know, get the cookware. No, like I highly recommend just starting where you're at, starting small. It's those little steps that really add up over time. I wanted to say a lot of times people can feel super overwhelmed when they're first starting off and they're wanting to switch to non-toxic cookware. And a couple tips I always tell people is to start slowly. You know, just swap that pan that you use every day first because it obviously has the most buildup because you're using it the most. And so swap that pan first. Gradually, you know, look for sales. Maybe for your birthday or for your Christmas, you're getting a new pan or a new piece of cookware. It doesn't need to be something that you do all at once and feel really overwhelmed. I always say, you know, invest in the products that you know are going to last over time, like the materials, whether that's stainless steel or, like I said, titanium or cast iron. Those are the type of materials that really will last in the long run versus the ceramic coated pans that maybe they're cheaper initially, but they're not going to last, you know, for years to come. I also wanted to let you know that my natural living guide has all of my favorite non-toxic cookware items linked in there, as well as I go over how I use them and what I use them for. Plus, it's a 65-page plus guide that has all of my favorites when it comes to swapping your home in a natural way that I've been doing for the last 15 years, whether it's in your bedroom, in your bathroom, in your kitchen. I have all of the swaps listed for you, so you can just buy the guide and know initially what you need to swap out and not have to do any research or feel overwhelmed. So make sure and grab it, my natural living guide in the show notes. It's on sale for $27. You can just download it to your phone and have quick, easy access to it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And then in the comments, let me know what type of non-toxic cookware you like and you use the most. I love hearing what other people really use in their home and what works for them and their family. Okay, guys, until next week, see you.